Yo, this is double two times. Blacshēp podcast. We have Black Wall Studios. Shout out to my silent partners. And I got my new guest up here today. Introduce yourself.
I'm Fajr Salaam-Goodwin. I'm a licensed clinical social worker. So, also known as a therapist.
Okay, yeah. Lamest terms. Thank you for coming, Fajr. Long time no see, man.
I know.
It's been a while. It's been a while.
It's been a long while. But happy to be here.
Yeah. Thanks for coming. So like we're gonna get right into it. Like we ain't gonna play around.
Okay.
So let me go to these topics. We started, the first topic was Nook, you know what I mean? And you ain't had no discrepancy with the topic at first, but I said before we started.
I don't have no discrepancy, but I don't want nobody to be like,
yeah,
well, where's she from
she
Newark?
She capping.
Yeah, like you never gonna,
yeah,
you're never going to.
So get into it. Let's start with Nook, how you relate to Nook, or your background or your family, whatever, and then get into what you wanted to say.
Yeah, no, I was born in Newark at St. Michael's, but
St. Michael's?
Yeah, they don't even deliver babies.
I'm about to say, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, so at St. Michael's, 88.
Oh, yeah, I'm about to say, so when they...
I don't know when they stopped, but they don't.
I thought it was either Beth Israel or
no, that's
UMD.
how everybody, it'd be mad people saying they from
I
Newark.
thought it was a Beth Israel baby or a UMD baby, that's it.
St. Michael's all day.
I never even heard nobody say that. You the first St. Michael's baby I've heard. I didn't even know it was a St. Michael's in Newark.
Yes. It's still open.
Is that bougie shit or something? Yeah. You had to have money for that? St. Michael's.
I be telling people I'm fake bougie.
All right, as you were.
But I was born in St. Michael's, right? Both my parents are from Newark. Like,
okay.
Born, raised, they're very much Newark. My mom still work at a school in Newark, so I'm very familiar with Newark. My siblings live in Newark, are from Newark, because me and my sisters don't have the same mom. So they grew up in Newark.
Okay.
So I'm, going back and forth to Newark, but I'm not from Newark. Like, I've never lived in Newark a day of my life.
You never lived in Newark? You were just born in Newark and never lived?
Never lived. I never lived. I was born at St. Michael's and then went to Irvington. That's
See, people was just like, yo, you gonna be born here. We just gonna make sure you're born here.
Yeah.
That was that type of thing, like.
Yeah. Well, I'm telling you, when I say my parents is from Newark, like they Newark through and through.
So they made sure that you was born there too.
They was born in Newark. I was born in Newark, but
you grew up in Irvington,
and then
North Plainfield.
Then we moved to North Plainfield. So.
All right, so I guess started in Newark.
Yeah.
Irvington.
Well, literally, like
to North Plainfield. So you kind of went,
Yeah. I lived in East Orange for a little bit, but I mean, it was real little bit.
I don't think I could live in East Orange. They don't got no parking.
Yeah.
Police getting on my nerves.
So I'm good with East Orange police because
you got
I got my little gold.
Yeah, you got your gold bag.
I got my gold card.
I know. Yeah, you got family over there.
You already know.
Well, shit, hook a brother up.
Listen, let me know.
Like, get with me later. Like, I'm trying to, I'm about to sue their ass or something, man. Get with me. Tired of their ass.
East Orange police don't play.
Yeah, shout out to Eternal Affairs in East Orange, man. Get me right. Like, for real. It's like, nah.
So everybody's deep rooted in Newark.
Yeah, me too.
And my mother always took me to. She from 3rd Street, so she always took me. Oh,
she from the north side.
Both my parents are.
Oh, okay, that's dope.
Yeah, my dad went to Behringer. My mother went to Arts High. So
okay, yeah. North side, baby. Shout out to your parents. Yeah. Your parents still together?
No, my dad passed.
Your dad passed? Sorry to hear that. I'm sorry.
No.
How long ago was that?
It'll be 2 years in July.
Oh, it's still fresh.
Yeah,
wow.
It's real fresh. That's
fresh.
why I was like, yeah.
Wow.
It's super fresh, but yeah.
Shout out to your moms and your pops, man. Rest in peace.
Loves you.
Yeah, how is your mom, yo? I love your moms, yo.
She good.
Yo, you want to know something, yo? All right, let's get into North Plainfield. I'm going to get into North Plainfield, then I'm going to get into you and your moms.
So we moved to North Plainfield. I was shook. Like
culture shock.
Yo.
I had an extreme culture shock, too.
Yeah, when we moved there, I was like...
And that's probably, to be honest, that's going to play into what I got to say. So, yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, like, it was kids playing hockey in the middle of the street. I had never really seen hockey like that.
Yeah.
So I was like,
So what part of North Plain for you? You was like,
I was on the East End.
On the East End, like what street? I never even
Sanford.
really been on the East End like that, to be
For
honest.
real?
No.
Well, mad people went to school with. It was like, we've been friends, but I never been to your house. And I was like, yeah, I'm real like.
I used to live on the West End.
Yeah, I knew where you lived.
Yeah. Hey, I lived on the main road. Everybody passed my damn house.
Everybody knew where you lived.
Yeah. Yo, you wanna know what's crazy, yo? I ain't really, like you were saying, I had a culture shock. I couldn't find no stores. I couldn't find no way to get a haircut. It's like, yo, I ain't know what to do. So I just had to go to the nearest hood, like, cause that's where I felt comfortable. Unless you're gonna take the train back to Newark and do everything,
Yeah,
like,
absolutely.
and that's what it was looking like. Where can I get a haircut? Where can I go get some shoes? Where can I get some clothes? And fortunately, when we first came, like, in the area, Plainfield was thriving Black city. So when we came, like, you could relate to the people right across Front Street. That's all you had to do is cross and get to Front Street, and you see where where your people at. You know what I'm saying? And Plainfield was still suburban. And I came in like 2001. It was real suburban. I never went to school with white people before.
Oh,
I never
so it was real new to you.
I never hung out with white people before. I didn't even hang out with the white people at school. And that's not to say that I should have. I was culture shocked. I didn't know how to approach them. People be nice to me. I just be like, I didn't know what to say. You know what I'm saying? Like I ain't really.
I don't think I ever saw y'all with no white people.
Yeah, I didn't hang out with them. They was very nice to me. I was in all classes with them. They was cool, but I just didn't have any personal relationships with them outside of school because that was my first experience with them, and I kind of regret that. But we got a 20-year reunion coming up, so I'm gonna be out there showing my ass.
Y'all old.
You a grade behind me. You know that, right?
That's what it is.
You 88.
I said what I said.
I'm 87.
I said what I said.
You in the same club, baby.
Listen, I do that to my husband. He's 87. He old.
Yeah, so you in the same club.
He old.
Shout out to us being old and stuff. But it was definitely a culture shock. So
yes,
when you went, and this used to fuck me up because at first I ain't gonna say, like, you were too nice, and you probably. And
I was too nice?
You was too nice to me, right?
Oh, to you.
Yeah. So you
I
probably
was like, you was like fam. Like
I was like fam, but you can remember in the beginning, I probably even asked like, why you being so nice? Like I used to ask those things like that because I didn't really receive that much love a lot. And like you and y'all group of friends, y'all used to show me, man. I used to be like, yo, why y'all be acting like what's up?
Because you black.
It's because look, I said it clicked. I said, damn, we the only people that's from the hood. Like we the only people that's coming from urban areas. We dress alike, we talk alike. We need to go to the same stores. We gotta get our hairs done and shit. It's like we related. And at the time, I didn't know that. I didn't know we was trauma bonded. I didn't know we was trauma bonded. Like all the hood kids get together.
We was though. When you think about it,
no, that's
everybody
exactly what happened.
was from Essex County.
Everybody was from like Essex County,
or
from somewhere else that they just didn't fit in. Like we was like the outside peoples. Like you know what I mean? Which is majority was people that was from the hood or Essex County. But then sometimes it was people that wasn't from Essex County that was just the outsider, and they might have been from New York, Brooklyn, they from Jersey City or whatever. Like it was just people from other places. Yeah, it was like the outsider. So now that I look back on it, now I know why y'all was being so nice because it wasn't that many of us.
Right.
So
I was like, I was nice. Wow, thank you. Y'all hear that? I was nice, guys.
Yeah, you never was mean to me. I never had you down for being mean to nobody in school, but I did have you like being real protective and just defending yourself. And when you had to do that, it probably wasn't, I don't know about fight. I never really seen fighting and stuff, but I definitely seen you vocally defend yourself and others. So I wouldn't say you was a problem. I'd say you was just protecting yourself, defending yourself.
Yeah.
That's just your personality.
I'm my parents' child for sure, so I'm a protector.
Yeah, your mom loud, so she like, yeah, you hear your mom down the block. I used to be like, yo, if she see me, you'll think that was my mom. She like your ass.
Yeah, because then she was like everybody, like she knew everybody. Like
she was smart.
It was like
it was a good thing to know. That's the thing as a parent. That's what you're supposed to do. You know what I'm saying? That's the love I was talking about. The care that seemed a little like it's a little standoffish at first, but after you deep into it, you say this is love.
Yeah.
This is care. This is I wanna make sure I care about you. I think you're important. I feel you. You're one of us. You fam, like you said.
And my mother, that's very much her personality. Yeah. Like, and if she know I bang with you, then if she know I don't, then.
So what about What else about North Plainfield?
You know what? North Plainfield, it was a culture shock. But when I was in Irvington, I was like in the gifted and talented classes, like getting really good grades. And I came to North Plainfield and was like, my grades were bad. And they were telling me, like, basically they told my mom what she was learning at Irvington, these kids pretty much learned already.
Yeah,
like,
the curriculum is different, yeah.
Very different. So that was a shock to me, a shock to my, a hit to my self-esteem.
So did you do good at school? Like overall?
Overall, I did okay. I think I could have did better for sure.
So like,
overall,
what would you put yourself as? Like you, like did you feel like you was college ready coming out of high school here?
I guess so. Yeah, because I went to school with a lot of people from down south.
What about these tests? How the hell did we get college prep classes? Because I had all college prep classes throughout high school, and I don't know how. All college prep classes.
I didn't even know that was an option. Or
that's
am
what
I
I'm
lying?
trying to say. This is what I'm trying to say. I think it was the we took the test because I came in like going into high school, like the end, going in. So I came in like middle school, about to go into high school. So we took the GEPA or the.
Yep, was that sixth?
That was the 8th grade.
Or is that 8th? That's 8th.
It was before the S. Oh, maybe that is the GEPA. Maybe too. Yeah. Maybe what's middle school?
I don't know.
So we took the SAT and or whatever it was. The middle school test when you about to go to high school. Next thing I know, I'm in. That's why I wasn't in classes with nobody I knew. I wasn't in class with none of my friends. I was in classes with all the smart.
That's what he said.
No, they said I was smart.
But you was.
I am.
You looked around your class. That's a.
I ain't had classes with none of the people I hang out. Everybody I hang out with was none of my classes. Everybody was in my classes.
Class with a bunch of white people.
I have had with a bunch of white people, Chinese people, Spanish people that I'd never seen, and I will only see these people in class. I never seen them outside of school. So it's like,
did you feel like you belonged in it?
I did not belong. See? I did not belong.
That's a whole nother.
But I got my work done. I cheated. I studied with some people's. I did my own work. Some classes I did my own work, and some classes I cheated. But
well, you and a couple of other people, because I think.
But I was cool. Yeah, I don't want to get fucked up. Everybody that was in my classes, I was cool with y'all. I ain't no bully. I don't let people bully people that I was cool with. Like, if you help me do my homework, nigga, you was my man. Like, I'll fight for you. For everything. Buy you some cookies at lunch and everything. Like, it was a lot of people that was helping me in class. Like, and I felt like people know I ain't belong there. I felt like kind of like, yo, what the hell is he doing in this class? And you know what? I wasn't bad in school. I just
you
fought.
Wasn't.
I just fought.
Yes. You wasn't bad though. You wasn't like disrespectful.
Yeah, I never was like that. I just fought a lot.
Just fought, and I'm trying to figure out like what
why?
was going on. That
yeah, why was that?
I'm just saying like,
so look,
what was going on.
I don't oppress nobody, so maybe it was just like our next topic is like childhood friends, like to adult friends. So like even as like that's my thing. My thing was fighting. I just ain't take no shit. Like you couldn't bully me, and you couldn't bully nobody I was with. Like we not, you want, oh let's fight. There's nothing to do. We ain't about to go back and forth. We ain't about to argue with y'all. We ain't even from out here. Look, matter of fact, before you look, let's go ahead and get this shit over with before y'all start grouping up and get more people. So let's just let's get this shit over with.
Did you ever feel like you had to prove yourself? Because I remember being there, and I used to say this all the time. When I look back, I'm like, girl, what was you like? What was
I definitely had to prove myself.
I was like, I'm not one of these girls from around here. Like,
but only because you know the environment. Like you said, when it's like almost being like the look at that nigga, and then you really fighting. Then after a while, it's like, damn, this nigga been fighting all the time. Yeah. But in reality, I'm not bullying nobody. I'm not oppressing nobody. I'm really just defending. I'm just not taking no shit. Like so, that's how that went. So how you feel about like childhood friends going to adult friends? Like, do you still got some friends from school?
Yeah, I got some. I seen Jackie actually the other day.
Yeah, shout out to Jackie. What's up, Jackie?
Because her daughter had a flag football game, and like I'm very like invested with kids. Like I'm gonna show up. I'm gonna pull up. I still speak to some of them. I don't feel like I have all the same friends. Yeah. I think when I left for college, I did try to keep up with a lot of. I tried to keep up with
so keep.
Yeah, I tried to keep up with as many of my friends. Like my sisters, you know my sisters. I still stay in contact with them. Obviously, their kids are my nieces and nephews. But I don't get to see them as much because we live in different states. I feel like we also are in different parts of our lives, right?
What about like does marriage separate that?
I feel like I'm married. I was hustling for a very long time to become a licensed clinical social worker. Like that whole entire path, I've been like just driven and locked in. So that kind of take me away. And then my friend group kind of like it shifted in some ways. And I just...
So like in what way? Can you be specific, like in the way it shifted?
I think it probably shifted because, so I've met a lot of people, even outside of North Plainfield. So I really got cool with a lot of people in Montclair. And that's where my husband's from too. That's actually how I met him. Yeah, he's from Montclair. He's a Montclarian. That's what I call him.
my little sister go there.
Oh, really?
I think she go to Montclair.
Yeah, I got connected with Montclair because my cousin lived in Montclair, and then DJ moved to Montclair.
Yeah. Shout out to DJ. What's up, DJ?
And like we always been best friends. And so then I start meeting some of his friends, and then I start hanging out with a lot of them. And they actually didn't go like to college with me or anything, but they was grinding. They was like, when I graduated from college, I was hanging out with them. I felt like a bum because they had been working since like they got out of high school. They worked through college, yeah. Yeah, so they was grinding. Yeah. Like, so I was like, oh, I gotta get to the money. Like, yeah. So I started grinding too, and we just became close, and I kind of shifted.
But like college, do you think was it worth it? Like,
for me,
of course, you needed it for your career, absolutely.
Yeah.
But during those times, like you said, your friends was working. Do you think you could have seen yourself doing something else? You see yourself working as anything else, or could it?
No, I loved college. Yeah. Like if
I like the experience.
If I could, I had to redo.
I wish I actually really went to college.
Yeah, I think you would have loved it. Especially at HBCU. Shout out to all HBCUs.
I was running around. I was at Bowie State, UDC, Howard, Morgan.
Yeah,
I was just running around.
But you could have been on the campus.
I actually could. I was on the campus selling drugs like a dumbass.
I was going to say, locked in the class. And I'm not going, not to throw no things, but it was people in my classes that sold drugs.
Yeah. And it went to class. I just didn't go to class.
And did really well.
You know what I'm saying? And shout out to the people that got that type of discipline. And shout out to the people that, that had to use what they got to get what they want. And hopefully that you ain't still into that because it ain't cool. You feel what I'm saying? That's something that I realized wasn't cool. Like, I'm paying tuition to be on the school to sell drugs. When I could have just took my ass to class and hopefully, escaped a lot of the stuff that I put myself into in the future. We're going to get into all that. But like for me, childhood friends to adult friends.
Do you still have a lot of the same?
I keep a lot of the same friends until we like fall out.
Okay, yeah.
You feel me? I keep most of a lot of the same friends we have. Even if I don't see you over the years, I still treat you the same. Because same. As long as you don't destroy the relationship. If we built a relationship in high school, we built a relationship. Right. Now, it can go astray or we could be separate. But when we get together, as long as you ain't cross me, you ain't lost me. You feel what I'm saying? You ain't lose me. That's what happens. If you cross me, you lost me. You know what I'm saying? All that talking behind people's back, like you don't talk behind my back. I'm a man. You feel what I'm saying? Come holler at me like a man. If I don't like what you're saying, we could do something about it. You feel what I'm saying? If you don't want to do something about it, you ain't a man. I mean, you what the fuck you want to say something for out your mouth, but you don't want to handle it, have a solution for it. I'm a solution-based man, right? Okay. So you bring a problem to me, we gonna solve the motherfucking problem, you heard? I'm gonna look right in the camera because I love y'all niggas, right? The niggas that wanna talk all crazy, I love y'all. Say I protected y'all, how I go to bat for y'all since we was kids. I go to bat for y'all as a grown-ass man. But when you cross me, you lost me. You cross me, I can't go back for you. I might go against you. So get away from me. So you cross me, do what y'all been doing, and run the fuck away every time you see me. And when you cross me, or you do something fucked up to me, you can't sit in my face. You can't come around me and shake my hand. You can't even be in the same spot as me. You feel what I'm saying? And that go for every fucking body. You feel what I'm saying? Respectfully. And I ain't gonna do nothing to you. I ain't gonna talk about you. I ain't gonna harm you. I'm not gonna disrespect your name or brand. I'm just gonna shun you because I don't play that shit. You feel me? And that's just what it is. Male, female, baby mama, my own daddy. Shout out to my daddy though. You feel me? He good. But that's who it applied to. Everybody, you know what I'm saying? I had to give a little PSA real quick. Like, you know what I'm saying? Because I love my friends. And I cherish people I grew up with. You feel what I'm saying? And I learned from the people that I grew up with. You feel me? Just like we said earlier, you know, I was a little scared about the love that I was receiving from. I'm like, why are they being so nice to me? Why our mom's so nice? But that's because of the good things of our relationship that we had growing up. Ain't nobody mess with y'all. Y'all ain't never had no problems with no niggas coming crazy.
Nope, because if we did.
Or even females. Even females, because it's just, they knew already. Like, yo, they rolling with them. We wasn't even in the same grade.
I was thinking that
we
too.
Was, I ain't see you in school.
We was not in the same grade at all.
Yeah, we just had like, I think we might have had like Spanish or something together, like certain little like extracurricular credits. Like I might have had a class of people, but other than that, it would just be after school, you just knowing of the person, and that's care. And that's, now that I pay it forward, it's because we was the urban kids. We was from the hood. You feel what I'm saying? It just didn't click at that time how we was clicking up. Yeah. You feel me? But
it happened naturally. So, and it was like, ain't nobody gonna mess with Jerez. Ain't no girl gonna mess with Jerez, and ain't no dude gonna mess with us, because we going to Jerez. And they gon' so
yeah, man.
It was cool though. I think it wasn't that bad overall.
No, it wasn't because over the years everybody knew what it was. It's been laid down to cement. Don't even do it. Don't try it. Yeah. You feel what I'm saying? Even as kids. So that's why I'm looking at these people as adults. Like, why they play? Like you feel, why you play with a man sitting up here? I got a podcast. Like, we can sit up like man, we can sit up here and be going crazy on people. You feel what I'm saying? Like, what these motherfuckers at? You feel me? But that's not us.
Not gonna do that. Yeah.
I'm not gonna do that. You feel me? Not. And I don't do that to people I once loved.
Yeah, I don't have nobody that I got no issue with. Like, I literally
ain't nobody like just do something to you. You had to shun them. Like, you just like fuck it. Like, females is greasy. Like, when it comes to like friendships, the things that they do each other.
I've been blessed
to not even have that. No falling out. And look, I don't fall out with people. Like, I didn't do nothing to nobody to fall out. So that's what fucked me up. I would never do nothing like that.
Yeah, I ain't had no fall. It's more like grow apart. Like, there's a lot of people that.
So it's not no like kicking back in, but that's good. That's pretty good then.
No, I've been like blessed. I mean, if you kicking my back in, I don't know. I mean,
yeah.
I don't really care. Like, I know some people be like, I want to know if somebody kicking my back in. Like, I'm an energy person. So if your energy off, you could. If I feel like your energy off, I'm not gonna sit in it. You ain't
even gonna kick it. Yeah, and that's how I am. Like, when I see something, I ain't about to play around. I already see how this about to go.
Yeah, like,
I already see what we about to be doing. Like, I ain't doing that.
Nah, but childhood friends, we still good.
Hey, look, I love all my peoples, man. Yeah. If you cross me, stay the fuck away from me.
We still good. I grieve sometimes how close we used to be. Sometimes, because people don't talk about, grieving friendships. I grieve that part of it. Is that
just like missing it?
Yeah, like, you'll have somebody you talk to every day, or like you texting every day, and then it's like there's a shift because you get older. People don't talk about what adult friendships look like, right? People don't, and I've had clients
adult
where
friendships
I'm like,
ain't even really all that. As an adult, the adult friendship is hard.
They're hard,
They're
right?
hard to keep. Yeah, absolutely.
You got a job, you got relationships, kids, children, like,
and all that comes in between friendships or between your children or the relationship.
Right. And I'm gonna prioritize my family every time. So absolutely. So, but no faults.
I wish I would, like you said, I wish I would have did college a little more. That experience probably would have prevented me from going to jail. I even ducked the army. Greg went to the army. Mm-hmm. We both got recruited.
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
I ran from the recruiter like a motherfucker. I was on 16th Street running for the recruiter. They like, yo, this army dude came through looking for you. I said, he did? Where he at?
Oh my God.
And look, they was about to give me like a bonus in there. I took the test. I went to the ASCAT or whatever that shit was called. They was like, yeah, you about to do this? That's what I'm about to do. What? They actually gave me a job title and shit. I said, oh, I'm about to go now? Oh, no, I wasn't ready now. I thought what?
You should have came to Virginia State with me.
I got shook and went to jail, man. Jeez. I should have been shook in jail. I liked that shit. Not to say I liked it, like I wanted to go to jail. As a young man, it was like a rites of passage in my mindset at the time. Okay. To go, I'm like, I'm gonna go to jail. I'm turning. I ain't know. I wasn't gonna be there long my first time, but it was a crazy experience.
Oh, I'm sure.
Yeah. I mean, this ain't no jail podcast. We ain't gonna keep talking about jail. But
yeah.
Let's get into next stop is everything gonna flow into. We're gonna talk about just being parents now. Because you got a 2-year-old, right?
Yeah, I have a 2-year-old.
So let's get into us being parents, starting with you. Yeah. And then we're going to go into the topic of all topics next. So let's go ahead and get into this topic. Might break the net. So let's get into being parents.
I love being a parent.
You love it?
I enjoy it. I feel like, so let me go back because I also feel like I kind of cheated.
Okay.
Right? Most of my friends' kids are older.
Yeah, you late with it.
I'm late, right?
You a little late.
I'm late.
So you got 2-year-old, right?
I have a
That's
2-year-old. I would like.
Hey, you only got one?
So I would like.
Yeah, you can't complain about shit. I don't want to hear you complaining. I don't want to hear it.
Wait, run this. Hold on.
I don't want to hear you complaining about
you
your
ain't listen to my little cheat, my little cheat or whatever.
All right, let me see what's going on here.
You know what I'm saying? So,
but you do be super auntie though. You be that's another. You like super godmommy auntie out this motherfucker.
Exactly. So that's why I feel like I cheated.
You got mad kids.
I have children. Like my oldest niece is 22 years old. We're only 13 years apart. Yeah. But like
you is one of those.
Yeah,
very
I'm
supportive
auntie mommy.
Yeah.
And I help out. I help raise my nieces because my sister can't. She can't do it. So I show up. I do what she would want me to do. Absolutely. What my dad expected of me, right? So I do that. So technically, when people ask me,
you raised a couple people.
I have a 22-year-old, a 16-year-old who. 16-year-olds are hard. She about to be 17.
Listen, we not about to even get into that.
Yeah, like that's.
I got 5. My mom's about to be 13. And I don't want to talk about that. All right? All right? Can we just skip that for now?
Yeah. Teenagers.
We're going to get into that later into the...
That's why I feel like I cheated in a way because they're my practice. I feel like I got to practice on them.
I got real good practice.
I got to practice on them, so it has given my son, I think, a better version of me.
When I moved out here, that's when my little brother and sister was born. That's when my father got married. Mm-hmm. He had 2 more kids, kind of like how he had me and my sister back to back.
Yeah.
So my stepmother had RJ and KK right back to back.
Yeah.
While I was in high school, so I'm babysitting. I got to really raise them. I got to raise my niece and nephew. You know what I'm saying? Before my kids came.
Exactly. So I feel like I got to kind of cheat, especially with my oldest niece. And we reflect. She'll be like, Auntie, when you said this to me, this is how it made me feel. And I'll be like, oh. I also think that because I waited a little later, right, it allows me to do a lot more for them.
That's all I would ask. Do you think it made you a better parent that you waited later? And this because you say waited later don't mean you wasn't trying. Because sometimes, people trying just ain't happen for you. So
I can even tell you about that. My son's an IVF baby.
Oh, talk. So yeah, get into it now. Be a parent. You IVF parent?
Yeah, I'm an IVF warrior. That's what they call it. You know what I'm saying?
All right, so hold on. You're talking to me here. Yeah. What the hell is IVF?
So that's the process. Why I can't think of the daggone acronym. I hate when this happens, but that's so.
Hey, put the acronym in the comments.
Yeah, because I can't think of it. But
what does it mean? IVF.
In vivo fertility.
Okay.
So basically, everybody does it for different reasons, right? Some people do it because they can't get pregnant.
Okay.
Right? They just can't get pregnant, or either it's their partner or either it's them.
Okay.
Right? We did IVF because my husband has sickle cell. Growing up, I was told I have the sickle cell trait. But as we were trying to have kids, I was trying to get my iron together first. That's what happened. We had been trying, but hadn't. So it's like, all right, what's up?
What's going on?
I talked to my OB. She was like, people don't get pregnant as fast as you think. I said, oh, yes, they do. My friends could turn over and get pregnant. So she was like, I don't think anything's wrong with you, but you should go. So I was like, all right. I was diagnosed with sickle cell as well.
And while finding out, while the process, you end up getting diagnosed. But you knew you had the trait, and
I knew I had the trait, and they was like, "No, you have sickle cell."
Does that play into fertility or trying to get pregnant at all? Like I wouldn't know.
So for him, it's the medications. So he had to come off some medications, right? Because they're like chemo meds, right? You thinking of chemo meds?
Got it.
It's killing your
sperm.
Did
you have to individually get medicated?
No. Well, so I did for the IVF process. You do shots. I did a lot to get pregnant. So I think, right, my son is very well planned. Like, when you think of a kid that's planned, he's
down to the T.
He's down to the T. Testing embryos.
Is that like the same thing like Beyonce did?
Oh, she did, people are saying she did,
something different,
a surrogate.
Okay, she did a surrogate, somebody else carried her egg.
Yeah,
so they
probably took her egg and his sperm, put it together, created an embryo, and put it in somebody else. So very similar, because they took my egg, his sperm, but we tested to see which eggs, which embryos
the
were
best?
going to be, right, which embryos were supposed to be more like me or him, right? We didn't want the embryos that was going to be like him because he has a lot of crisis, which causes a lot of pain. We wanted the ones that was going to be like...
And is that expensive?
Yes, but I have really great insurance.
Yeah, but can let's spit some numbers out for people that might be wanting to try these type of things, or because this is a great topic. I didn't expect to be speaking about this, so this is important for people who are having troubles conceiving, whether it's for medical reasons, whether it's the male or the female. I'm glad you brought this up because some people don't feel comfortable talking about this, and that was beautiful that you could bring it to the end because it's people that's going through that right now, and we might can help them by just bringing it up. And you speaking on your experiences with your husband, the way you broke that down in just a short amount of time was amazing. I think that's dope. So shout out to your husband. She done put your business all out there, buddy.
He don't mind. He don't mind.
It's all good because it's for...
He's an advocate for like people knowing these things. About. A lot of black people think they have the trait, and now they're saying, no, y'all don't have the trait. Y'all have it. And
talk dirty. So shout out to that. Shout out to you sharing that.
Yeah, we talking thousands of dollars.
Thousands. We talking. I think I might have heard like
salary.
20 to 30 bands, something like that.
That's very accurate because you got to think about your medications. Medications aren't cheap.
So no BBL, man. No BBL. We're going to go for the IVF.
Yeah, we're going for the IVS. But I work for a school system, so the insurance there is Chef Kiss.
That's beautiful.
Right? I paid out. We did pay some things out of pocket, and that was thousands. We saved up. Some people put their houses up. Like, people very far to... Some people save up money. Like, people go far. But there are, if you are in that process and you don't have the funds, there are places that have scholarships.
Okay.
So, if you need to do that.
So, you paid, you got your insurance, y'all found a way to be parents. Mm-hmm. And now that you guys are going into your third year? Or is this still second year?
He just turned 2.
So y'all gonna be going into the third year, right? How is the experience of being parents? Like, y'all did all this, whether it was money, whether the going through the studies and being selective and picking it down to the T. How was the experience now that your son is here? What's his name?
His name is Caleb.
Caleb, beautiful name.
Because God told me to name him Caleb.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, because a lot of spiritual stuff went into this too. But I love being his mother. Like, he is so for me. Like, God really did his big one on that. You know what I'm saying? Like, he did his big one. Even days where I'll be like, yo, I'm stressed, or I don't know, or like I'm anxious, or I'm very sad. He bring like mad joy to me.
I think ain't nothing better than a child's love.
Yep.
I don't think nothing made me feel as good as that.
Yeah.
As my children, how my children made me feel.
It's amazing.
So look, let's I love being a parent. You know what I'm saying? No matter how many I got, no matter how many came.
But you showing up, and that's important.
Yeah, it's hard. They make it hard for me. Shout out to my baby mothers. Like, I be, I don't got no issues with my baby mothers other than the treatment of me. You feel me? And the reason I need y'all to treat me with respect is because I want to treat y'all with respect. Yeah. If you don't respect me, I can't respect you. So rather than disrespect y'all, I just stay away from y'all because I'm not going to disrespect you. You feel what I'm saying? I'm not going to belittle myself to that character. I ain't like that.
Yeah, that's
like I'm sitting next to somebody I know since I was a kid. I never disrespected women. I, in fact, don't even let people disrespect women around me. You can't even say nothing to nobody around me, a stranger or not. I wouldn't even let it happen. I never played that since a kid. So just seeing my friend up here is bringing a lot of memories back that didn't stick. But now that you're in my face, it's like, damn,
that we can reflect.
I'm reflecting on my character now and my character as a kid, and I was the same person.
Yeah.
Probably even more protective as a kid than I am now. Yeah. And what made me like that is just to think of the trauma that I blocked out that made me like that. Because if you want to be technical, that's kind of how I was. Like, these my peoples. I was saying that in 8th and 9th grade. Mm-hmm. And I barely knew everybody. I'm meeting these people. All right, well, they with me now. Don't fuck with them.
Yeah.
That's how I really was moving because I don't know if I could see the trauma. I could feel the trauma. I could see the...
But you could even tell it was trauma because you was even like, yo, why they being so nice to me? right? You was waiting for us to be like mean, and we was like, nah, yo. Like I used to call him Snickerdoodle. It's a
Snickerdoodle. I didn't even know that was a cookie. I didn't even know what it meant. I thought it was bad at first. I was like, I don't call me that. Then after a while, just like, all right, I don't. At least I didn't hear nobody else say it. So anybody, you know,
I don't play that. If I give you a nickname, don't nobody.
Yeah,
else say
but it was all that. It was your mom, and I just like, why the mom being nice, and all the other friends, and then it grew into a big group of late now. I got a whole group of females to look out for and walk home, and sometimes buy food. Sometimes they cook for us, and it was just, you know, in high school to have that as just friends. It wasn't like no fornicating. It wasn't no fresh stuff. It was real, pure, innocent, you know, relationships, and that's now that we thinking of it, that's crazy.
Yep.
So shout out to our little friend groups. I miss all y'all. Y'all more than welcome. I talk to everybody. Everybody always DM me. Everybody always say they proud of me. Everybody always show
I'm
love.
so proud of you. I was like, why am I don't be on Facebook?
Yeah, my
Facebook.
my Facebook lit, but it's my Facebook more for like family and friends. I just be talking shit, but really I put the work on like all the other platforms. I don't really engage as much.
I'm a TikTok girl.
You see TikTok going crazy. Yeah. So look, you know, this is an important topic right here. Mm-hmm. Therapists needing therapy or having a therapist, you know, what's the deal with that? Is that a thing?
That's very much a thing. My clients know they have a grand therapist. That's what I call it.
Speak with a grand therapist, right? And that's your term that you.
That's not my term. I actually found that on Instagram, but it ain't have no name to it. So if it's yours, I love it.
Okay.
Yeah, like y'all got people got grandmothers. That's your grand therapist. She is the one that's helping me be a better version of myself. So when we're in school, we're told to seek therapy because your underlying stuff can come up, right? I don't have a perfect life. A therapist is no different than anybody else, right? Like I got trauma, I go through things. So it's important for you to have a therapist. I know some people that will tell other people that like, yo, if your therapist never been to therapy, you should find that questionable. And some people just don't know if they therapist.
And coming from, you know, you're a professional, like, so you could really speak on it. Is it necessary?
I think it's necessary. Imagine being in a session, right? And let's say you've been through some domestic violence type situations. And then somebody come into a session and maybe you don't work with that population, but something in that moment exactly happened to them and you're triggered. You don't know how you're going to react in that moment because you're still very much human. You're not superhuman. So you have to be in check. Like if you work through that, you might be able to. So I used to do grief therapy. Actually, I don't anymore.
And therapy, it's like you just said, grief therapy. Is there specific?
So yeah, you have your different things. So I love to work with people who, they're just struggling with life transitions, depression, anxiety. I think a lot of us have anxiety and don't know it.
Yeah.
Just, you know, trauma. I like trauma. I want to be certified. I tell people I'm trauma trained. I'm not trauma certified.
Okay.
But I love it.
That
sounds crazy.
Some credits that you got to go back and get?
So I take all trauma trainings, but I never took them where it went towards a certification. So some of them it can go towards that certification.
But you just haven't completed it.
I just haven't completed, but I'm very much, I just don't give myself that credit to, but you can show up to my session. We're going to do some trauma work. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Because I feel like a lot of black people have trauma, actually. A lot of black women, a lot of black men, like a lot of trauma.
We about to get real. It's about to get real black in here. Okay?
Yeah. So, you know, I love right now. I don't mind. I have clients that, you know, if there's infertility, is the IVF, like I could speak to that. And I'm transparent to a fault because, you know, as a therapist, you don't go in a session. You're not talking about you. It's not
so. Black people should go to black therapists?
So?
What you think? So
I'm about to put you on T.
I got my own ideas.
I'm about to mess with your head.
Should I give you mine first before
Give me yours first.
So look, I ain't never had a black therapist.
Okay.
At all.
Okay.
I don't think I would go to a black therapist.
Really?
The
Why?
reason, and not because like it's as a negative. is because when I speak to somebody, I like speaking to somebody who has no fucking idea. Like where I'm coming from, when I'm talking to my therapist, most of the time their mind is blown what we talking about. So now it gives me an idea like this shit is nuts. I don't want nobody to necessarily trauma bond or relate to me.
No, they should never be.
But that's kind of what happens.
Some people
as black
therapists,
people,
I be hearing
feel you,
stuff.
brother. I feel you. I don't want you to feel me. I want you to be like, what the fuck is that? I want you to give me your real raw opinion. And sometimes I don't feel we give that to each other because we are too understanding of each other. So just because my personal, I would have a black one, but to challenge myself, I think I would need. So that's basically what happened. I ended up like a young Spanish white guy. And I'm just like, he was just like, he was just so amazed by it. He was taking notes, and he just like, he could use this stuff for other black males. And I'm just like, you don't really, he said, I just never had that type of conversation or those experiences. So,
okay.
was he able to, and they go, hey, this is why I learned going to therapy, and this I learned through him, right? When you go to therapy, the therapist can't help you. The therapist walks you through helping yourself.
Thank you.
So when you go into there,
Yes.
you go in there asking them for help, they necessarily can't help you. They can open you up. They can pull some things out. They can throw some things in front of you. They could, show you different outcomes of ways to go about things, whether it's their own personal way or other ways of the people that they spoke to. But it's you. You have to do the work, which means you have to be transparent. Yes. So when I realized
I'm lying in my session.
When I realized that I have no problem speaking, and then therapy wasn't really therapy. It was just really being able to express myself freely.
Okay.
So I ain't really need help. I just need to be able to talk and say it out loud and get it out my system and have somebody respond to me respectfully, like they care. So that basically is, right, a good ear, being responsive, and having, if not solutions, having other ways to address it, go about things, other things to consider.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So that's come from being able to really look myself in the mirror, be real raw and direct, and be like, look, if you really want help and you really want change, you have to be transparent. You have to be honest. You have to be forthcoming if you want the problem solved. I got anxiety. I got PTSD. You feel what I'm saying? From being in the streets, from being in jail, from doing things that, I'm not so proud of over a long period of time, losing all my friends. You feel what I'm saying? Like, I got dead friends. I got friends that's never coming back. I got friends that ain't coming home for a long time if they make it home. And why am I here? You know what I'm saying? So I just.
So you did trauma work?
I would say if you want to say trauma work, I would say I was able to express myself freely and find other ways to deal with my anxiety or PTSD.
Okay.
First, I had to acknowledge that I have it.
Yeah.
So, I already was, they probably give you that stuff in jugs. They give you the little stuff and you see the psych and all that, just my reactions. And I know how I act, even just how I was as a kid. That's anxiety and PTSD. When you so quick, why is this guy 100 pounds soaking wet going to fight the biggest dude here with no fear in his heart? He's ready. In fact, I done scared the big guy by now.
Right.
So I didn't realize just fighting all the time was trauma. Like, I was quick to fight. And I didn't even really have no problem. I'm like, look, you want to fight?
Right.
Get the shit over with. I'll go act like nothing ever happened.
Quick, yeah.
And like nothing ever happened. And that's trauma. You know what I'm saying? So I had to learn even violence. Not to be violent. Violent, that made me feel like
me being violent made me feel like I didn't know how to handle things. So I get straight to the
Right.
violence because I didn't know how to talk.
Right.
And if you know me back then, I did not talk as much as I do now.
You didn't talk that much
At all.
Yeah, you were pretty like the quiet one of
I
the
was
bunch.
quiet up until I probably haven't been quiet since Lago died.
Oh wow.
He was the loud one. He was all loud. I would just let him do his thing. I'd just be fall back, you know what I'm saying? I already made my bones. I'm just chilling.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? If there's any problems, let me know. I was a soldier. Like
Yeah.
I came up as a soldier. Then I had to like become a boss. I had to become the leader because I wasn't never the leader of the pack. I was the soldier in the pack. I didn't want to control where everybody go. Lago be like, yeah, we going here. And I don't give a fuck where we go. Let's just go have some
Therese,
fun.
I don't think you realized you was a leader.
I
You was a
didn't
leader at that
realize.
time. Yeah, because
I
I'm
didn't.
thinking back. Like when I think about it,
I didn't realize it though. That's
did.
what I was trying to say.
And I notice a lot of kids that I work with usually don't realize
You don't
that
know.
they're the
You don't know
leader
that you're the
either.
leader of the pack.
Yeah, and I'd be like, don't you see?
I thought I was falling back and stepping up when need to be, but the whole time I was stepping up when it needed to be led, like leader. So I was stepping up to the leadership role. If people had problems, what's the motherfucking problem? These my people.
Right.
What's going on? I found a way to direct things to not go how you
Yeah.
think you want it to go over
Yeah.
here. You know what I mean?
So,
Whew.
yeah.
Therapists needing therapy is a thing.
It's a thing. Think about it, right? So my dad passed 2023. 2023. I just had a baby,
Yeah.
right? So like, I'm doing
hard to deal
IVF.
with, yeah.
At first I did IVF. That's trial and error because many
It didn't
times
work
I
a
did
couple-
it.
yeah.
It didn't work a
Oh,
couple
how
of
did that-
times.
oh,
You
shit.
know, I had to sign, and I still got
was a
to
crybaby,
show up
wasn't you?
as somebody. Oh yeah.
Cry like a baby when it did go.
Listen, and I got to show up for my therapy sessions.
So you still got to be there for everybody
I
else.
still gotta
While you
be
in the
there for
worst,
us.
and the worst, you going through the worst thing in your life.
I remember I did a session one day. I was boo-hoo crying on my couch 5 minutes before it started.
Should all therapists see a therapist?
Absolutely. If you have not seen a therapist, like the kids say, "Is you cool?" Like, it's very important.
If you ain't seen a therapist, just at least holler at her. I feel like you're ducking.
Yeah, but as a therapist, you just should. It's nice to think that. Like at first, I was like, "Nah, I think I'm good." Like
I'm a therapist.
I
need to talk?
wasn't
I'm
even
the person to talk to.
I wasn't even a therapist yet. I was just a social worker. They
Okay.
recommend any type of field you go into, social services, and you in it, they recommend you go to therapy.
Ooh,
Yeah,
I didn't know that.
yeah.
So it's a recommendation, but it's not
It's not a requirement.
it's not a requirement. Do you think it should be a requirement?
I do. I think it should be a requirement. I think
Yeah, we
as a
about
part
to
of
get-
your grad school, that should be a requirement.
All right, look. Therapists need therapy.
Absolutely. All right.
People who going through trauma need therapy. People with anxiety and PTSD need therapy. What do you think about these drugs? It's prescriptions, as you know, that they prescribing. Now I'm gonna give it a little quick because we gotta move on. I don't like it. They prescribe you the drugs off a phone call.
Yeah, I do think it's too quick.
They prescribe you the drugs before they give you therapy.
I think it's too quick.
Have you noticed that?
I have. So my clients ain't doing nothing though. Like if somebody,
Yeah, I refuse all
yeah,
drugs.
my clients like they would never. They come to
But you know
therapy
that's how
because
you might not know that's the process.
Oh,
like say I go on ZocDoc and I go look for a therapist and you say or you go talk.
Don't go on.
No, I'm just giving you an example, right? You
No,
they give you an example and you talk to people. The first thing they offer is drugs, prescription.
Yeah.
The
No,
first thing they offer is
you
prescription
don't.
before you even get to
No.
therapy. They say prescription. And look, I said no. What do you want? I want to see a therapist. Then they forward you to the therapist.
Yeah.
That's the process.
Oh, I was
drugs
going to
first,
join.
then therapy.
I thought about joining ZocDoc. I'm glad I didn't. I don't want you to try. I want you to try therapy.
Yeah.
Medication is the last thing I'm suggesting. If I recognize,
But is that like? Because I don't know. It seemed like that's the screening that they do. Like it's like you have to go through that. It's like a process. Like they screen you before they give you the therapist, and that's like what they're doing with the drug process.
Oh, I'm gonna have to look at that. That's
Look at it. Maybe we should look into that. We can follow up on that.
Yeah, like
Because I did it a couple times, and it's the same process for each different company I tried. So that's when I'm like, I don't want the drugs.
No.
You offer me, you give me, and I got prescribed them. I didn't take them,
Yeah.
but they prescribed the drugs off a phone call.
no.
I couldn't understand. I
Don't.
basically demanded therapy. So I just wanted to run that by people because I know they give a lot of dudes drugs in jail,
No.
you know, and
Talk
stuff
to
like that.
talk to a therapist. Talk to a therapist. I don't recommend medication to somebody unless we doing stuff and I'm just like, I think this might be a chemical imbalance, but I don't know.
Yeah.
Right? Because some people.
So do you have I know it's not attorney, but you know, therapist client privilege, but are you allowed to prescribe?
No, I don't prescribe.
Okay,
you have to see a psychiatrist.
So psychiatrist most likely prescribes those things.
Yes. Your primary could give you something for like ADHD or anxiety.
Yeah,
but I always tell people,
that's the ones they prescribe the most, the anxiety,
for
ADHD medicine.
I always tell people go see a psychiatrist. You can go see a psychiatrist, get an evaluation, and don't have to take meds. If you just want to know like what's going on with me.
Yeah.
I highly recommend
You don't have to
that.
accept.
You don't have to accept any medication.
Even if you prescribe it, you could take them.
Yeah.
You could get it and you could keep them.
Yeah.
You know, and not take them unless you get second opinions and stuff, you know?
Yeah. Or learn techniques first.
People get misdiagnosed sometimes. So
yes.
Is that a thing?
Yes, it's a thing because a lot of diagnoses overlap each other. So right,
they share same characteristics.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
That was a good point.
Absolutely. You can have, right, they might say, oh, you're depressed. And we might get to the bug of it and it's like, no, you have anxiety, like very intense anxiety.
I have very bad. What's the most common, diagnosis? Like in let's say we getting Black right now. So what's the most common diagnosis in the Black community? I
think like
I'll say like ADHD, man. Right?
Yeah, I see a lot of ADHD.
What about that? How you feel about that? Some people say they don't believe in that shit.
I do believe. I have students. I'm like, oh baby, you.
So give somebody an example. Let's give somebody an example because we about to get real Black in here right now. So let's give somebody an example of this ADHD. That's how you say it, right? Let's give us my example of a child. Let's give an example of a boy, and let's give an example of a young girl. Because it might be different.
See, that's so. I like that you mentioned that because Black boys get diagnosed with ADHD way more. But you also have to, if you look at my son compared to another 2-year-old girl, you're gonna be like, oh my God, yeah. When I tell you he don't sit down, ain't nobody diagnosing him with no ADHD, right? Yeah. Obviously he's too young, but I'm just using that example where Black boys. And just boys in general, but Black boys, they just operate different. Just like we as a people are just different too, right? That's why nowadays, a lot of in the therapist community, we talk about the DSM. That's what we use to diagnose people, right?
DSM, what's that?
It's the diagnostic something manual.
Yeah. So it's basically like a chart.
So we open the manual and we see, okay, you say you experienced this, you experienced this. Oh, you probably have that. That's how we get your diagnosis. All the criteria is right there.
But some things got the same criteria.
Some of them overlap. But we also, in the Black community, have been talking about as therapists, it's written by white people.
So this ain't even for us.